Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Economics Unplugged. In today's video, we are going to discuss a very important concept in public finance called federal finance. If you are studying economics, commerce or preparing for competitive exams, this topic is extremely important. But don't worry, in this video, I will explain federal finance in a very simple and practical way. We will cover meaning of federal finance, definitions, features, objectives, principles of federal finance, and also federal finance in India. So watch this video till the end. Alright, let us begin. First, let us understand the meaning of federal finance. Many countries in the world follow a federal system of government. For example, India, USA, Canada, Australia. In a federal system, government power is divided between different levels of government. For example, in India, central government, state governments, and local governments. Now, each government has its own responsibilities. For example, the central government handles defense, foreign affairs, national policies. The state government handles education, agriculture, law and order. But to perform these functions, governments need money. So, the important question is, how should financial resources be distributed between these governments? This is exactly what federal finance studies. So, we can say federal finance refers to the financial relations between central government and state governments in a federal system. In simple words, it explains who collects revenue and who spends the money. Think about it. Imagine if both central and state governments try to collect the same taxes, it would create confusion. That's why proper financial division is necessary, and that is the role of federal finance. Now let us look at a few definitions. Economist Dalton defined federal finance as the study of financial relations between different levels of government in a federation. Another economist, Musgrave, explained that federal finance deals with the allocation of financial powers among different levels of government. So the main idea here is distribution of financial power. Now let us understand some important features of federal finance. The first feature is multiple levels of government. In a federal system, there are at least two levels of government. For example, in India, we have central government, state government, and local governments. The second feature is division of financial powers. Different governments have different sources of revenue. For example, central government collects income tax, customs duty, corporation tax. State governments collect state GST, stamp duty, and land revenue. The third feature is revenue sharing. Some taxes are shared between center and states. For example, in India, income tax is shared with states. Another feature is financial cooperation. Both governments must work together for economic development. Now let us discuss the objectives of federal finance. The first objective is efficient allocation of resources. Resources should be used efficiently so that public services improve. The second objective is economic stability. Governments must control problems like inflation, unemployment, economic instability. The third objective is reducing regional inequality. In every country, some regions are rich while some are economically weaker. Federal finance helps to support weaker regions. For example, in India, poorer states receive financial grants from the central government. Another objective is financial balance between center and states. Both the governments should have sufficient funds to perform their duties. Now you may ask, why is federal finance necessary? Let us understand this with a simple example. Imagine a country where all taxes are collected only by the central government. Then the state governments would depend completely on the center for money. This would reduce financial independence of states. On the other hand, if states collect most taxes and the central government receives very little revenue, then national responsibilities like defense or infrastructure cannot be fulfilled. So there must be proper financial balance. That is why federal finance is necessary. Now we come to the most important part of the topic, the principle of federal finance. These principles help us decide how financial powers should be distributed. There are several principles. Let us discuss the most important ones. The first principle is the principle of efficiency. This principle says taxes should be collected by the government that can administer them most efficiently. For example, income tax requires advanced administrative machinery, so it is collected by the central government. This improves efficiency in tax collection. The next principle is equity. Equity means fairness. All regions of the country should have equal opportunities for development, but in reality, some states are richer than others. So, federal finance allows the central government to transfer funds to poorer states. This reduces regional inequality. The third principle is adequacy. Every government must have sufficient financial resources. If states do not have enough money, they cannot provide important public services like schools, hospitals, roads, public welfare schemes. Therefore, revenue distribution must ensure adequate funds for every government. Another important principle is elasticity of revenue. Elastic revenue means revenue increases automatically when the economy grows. For example, when people's income increases, income tax collection also increases. Similarly, when consumption increases, GST collection increases. This helps governments meet increasing public expenditure. Another important principle is independence. Each level of government should have some independent sources of revenue. This helps governments make financial decisions independently. For example, state governments collect state GST, stamp duty, and motor vehicle tax. This provides them with financial autonomy. Another principle is administrative economy. This means the cost of collecting taxes should be low. If the government spends 10 rupees to collect 5 rupees tax, that system is inefficient. So, tax administration must be simple, efficient, and economical. Today, digital tax system help improve this process. The last principle is coordination. There must be proper coordination between central and state governments. Without coordination, problems may arise such as tax conflicts, double taxation, financial disputes. Therefore, cooperation between governments is very important. Now let us briefly look at federal finance in India. In India, financial relations are defined in the Constitution of India. The Constitution divides powers into union list, state list, and concurrent list. The Finance Commission plays a very important role. It recommends distribution of tax revenue, grants to states, financial adjustments. The Finance Commission is appointed every 5 years. Let us quickly summarize today's topic. Federal finance studies the financial relations between central and state governments. It helps ensure proper distribution of taxes, tax powers, adequate financial resources, balanced regional development, and economic stability. And the most important principles include efficiency, equity, adequacy, elasticity, independence, and coordination. Understanding federal finance helps us understand how governments manage public money in a federal system. Thank you for watching this video. If this explanation helped you understand federal finance clearly, please like the video and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe my channel Economics Unplugged for more economics concepts explained in a simple way. See you in the next video.